Upon getting to the hospital, Ebube rushed to the emergency unit and begged the doctor to save her daughter's life. "I'm sorry, but you will have to make a deposit before we can help her," the doctor said. "How much do I need to deposit? Please, I need you to save my daughter," Ebube said in a teary voice. 50,000 naira. You will have to pay 50k first before we do anything, the doctor said. Immediately, Ebube heard that she had to deposit 50k first before the doctor attended to her daughter. She jumped on the floor and began to scream dramatically. Please, sir! I do not have that kind of money! If there is anything you can do to help me, please do it! I swear on my late husband's grave, I will pay you back, please! Ebube begged the doctor. "I'm sorry, ma'am, but that is not how we work here. Once you have the money ready, we will attend to your daughter," the doctor said before excusing himself. Immediately the doctor walked away. Ebube ran after him and held his lab coat. Please help me, doctor, please, I beg you. But thankfully, some of the nurses were able to hold her back. "Ma'am, the faster you find help for your daughter, the better it is for you," one of the nurses said to Ebube, whose eyes were already red from crying. "Please help me beg him, please." Ebube cried. Then she paced around the hospital corridor for some minutes. After minutes of trying to beg the nurses for help, but nothing worked, Ebube decided to run back to her neighbors for help. She could not stand her daughter's unconscious body anymore. Out of desperation, Ebube ran out of the hospital without looking at the road, and she almost got hit by a car. "Madam, are you mad? If you are looking for a way to die, why not jump into the sea?" The woman yelled at Ebube. "I'm sorry, I wasn't looking," Ebube said. "Ebube, is that you?" the woman asked excitedly in a calmer tone. Because Ebube was in a hurry, she didn't look at the woman's face while apologizing, but when the woman called her name in a familiar tone, she was forced to take a second look at her. "Ha! Chinasa, is that you?" Ebube asked. "Yes, it's me," the woman said as she exited her car to give Ebube a hug. So God can really bless people like this," Ebube said while admiring her former classmate's car. "Why are you dressed like this? And where are you hurrying to?" Chinasa asked. "It's my daughter, oh. She was hit by a car and the doctor said I have to pay 50,000 naira first before he can attend to her," Ebube said. "Have you paid? How is she?" Chinasa asked. "My sister, for where? Have I seen that kind of money before in my life? I wanted to run back to my neighbors to see if they could lend me the money," Ebube said in a teary voice. "Let's go back into the hospital. I will give you the money," Chinasa said. "Huh? Just like that?" Ebube asked in a teary voice. "Yes, you were my very good friend, and this is the least I can do for you," Chinasa said. Immediately Chinasa said that, Ebube broke into tears and she took her inside the hospital. As soon as they entered the hospital, Chinasa paid the deposit and the doctor immediately attended to Ebube's daughter. "My friend, I don't even know how to thank you for what you have done for me. I am very grateful," Ebube said. "You don't need to thank me, Ebube. What are friends for? That reminds me, how is your husband, Nnamdi? I left for the city after you guys got married," Chinasa said. My sister, Nnamdi is dead. It's just me and my daughters now," Ebube said. "Oh my God, I'm so sorry for your loss. I didn't know Nnamdi passed away," Chinasa said. "So, what do you do here in the city? How are you and the children surviving?" Chinasa added. "We thank God. He has been taking care of us. In the meantime, I hawk bread and beans. Ebube said. Ha! You hawk bread and beans? Chinasa asked in shock. Yes, my friend. Life has not been easy, but I'm still grateful to God. If not for the bread and beans I sell, I don't know how we would have survived in this city. Ebube said. It's okay. My dear, I have to be on my way now. But this is my card, Chinasa said as she handed her complimentary card to Ebube. Please call me tomorrow so we can talk, Chinasa said. Then before leaving the hospital, she gave Ebube a bundle of money. Ah! Chinasa! I can't take this! You have already paid for the deposit! Ebube said. You will need money, my friend. Don't forget you still have to buy medication for your daughter and some food. Also, you still need to pay the remaining hospital bills, Chinasa said. Ah! My friend! You are the real definition of an angel! Ebube fell to her knees and thanked Chinasa. Ebube, get up! You're embarrassing me! Chinasa said as she helped Ebube stand up. Don't forget to call me tomorrow too. We need to see each other, Chinasa said before leaving the hospital. The following day around noon, Ebube called Chinasa and she directed Ebube to her house. Upon getting to Chinasa's house, Ebube was stunned. The house was so big and beautiful and it looked like it came straight out of the movies. Chinasa! Is this your house? Ebube asked in shock while scattering her eyes around the house. It's one of my houses, Chinasa bragged mildly. Hey! One of your houses? Ebube gasped and screamed in shock. Ha! My friend, how did you become so rich? I even noticed the fleet of luxury cars that were parked outside. Do they all belong to you? Ebube asked. Yes, everything you are looking at belongs to me, Chinasa said. Please, what do I offer you? Chinasa asked. Anything is fine, Ebube said. Okay, give me a minute. I will be right back, Chinasa said before leaving the parlor. About 2 minutes later, Chinasa returned with a bottle of expensive wine and 2 glasses. Then she poured a glass for Ebube and herself. How is your daughter doing? Is she well? Chinasa asked. Yes, she's fine now. I even left the hospital before coming here. Hey, Chinasa, thank you so much for yesterday. I don't know what I would have done yesterday if I didn't bump into you, Ebube said. You are welcome. I believe that everything is part of destiny. You were meant to see me and I was meant to help you, Chinasa said. My friend, if you do not mind me asking, what did you do to gather so much wealth? Ebube asked. Ebube, it's a long story. But if you are interested, I can introduce you to the person who made me like this, Chinasa said. Yes, please. I'm very interested. I am tired of suffering and of watching my daughter suffer. Please, introduce me, my friend, Ebube said. But I must warn you, once we meet the person, there is no going back. You must be willing to do whatever is asked of you. If you can do that, then there is nothing in this world that you will lack. As it is, I have more than 7 houses in this state. And I'm currently building my 8th house, Chinasa said. Eh? Your 8th house? Chinasa asked in shock. Yes, and you can be like me too. I didn't like how I met you yesterday, so I want to help you, Chinasa said. My friend, I am ready to do anything. Please, take me there. Ebube went on her knees. There's no problem. We will go there this night, Chinasa said. When Chinasa told Ebube that they would meet the person later that night, she thought Chinasa was taking her to a business meeting. To her greatest surprise, It was a women's only occultic group. You are welcome to the Daughters of Eve. Pick one of these 3 calabashes, the occultic leader said to Ebube. When Ebube heard that, she turned and looked at Chinasa, and Chinasa nodded at her. Before Ebube picked one of the calabashes, she wanted to ask what was in it. But when she saw the unfriendly face of the occult leader, she quietly picked one and handed it to the woman. Immediately the occult leader looked inside the calabash. She laughed hysterically and nodded. Woman, you made the right choice. You picked your daughter's wombs as your money source, the occultic leader said. Immediately Ebube heard that. She gasped and began to cry. What have I done? She soliloquized. Woman, clean your tears. Crying is not allowed in the temple. You should be celebrating right now, because your life is about to change for the better, the occult leader said. Welcome to the Daughters of Eve, the other occult members said to Ebube, and then they handed Ebube something in a small calabash to drink. After Ebube and Chinasa left the occultic meeting, Ebube confronted Chinasa. You're such a wicked person! Why didn't you tell me you were taking me to an occult group? If I had known, I wouldn't have followed you! Ebube said in a teary voice. Ha! So I am now wicked for showing you the way out of poverty and hawking your miserable bread and beans? Chinasa yelled back. That miserable bread and beans was better than selling my daughter's wombs to the devil. What kind of mother does harm to her own children? Ebube cried. Look, Ebube, I don't know what you're upset about. You should be happy you didn't choose the wrong calabash. Your daughters are still young and they do not need their wombs until the next 15 to 20 years. And that's a long time for you to have a good life, Chinasa said. What do you mean by the wrong calabash? What could be worse than what I picked? Ebube asked. Look, Ebube, you better stop crying and embrace your new wealth. Some of us were not as lucky as you are. I had to kill my own son because of all the things I have today, Chinasa said. When Ebube heard that, she was speechless and she stopped complaining. That night, when Ebube went home, she couldn't sleep. Each time she looked at her poor and innocent daughters, she would burst into tears. What have I done? What have I done? The following morning, while Ebube was cleaning up her room, she stumbled on a small bag under her bed and immediately she opened it. She gasped in shock. The bag contained bundles of money in different currencies and Ebube did not know what to do with them until she called her friend Chinasa. That is your first package, my friend. More of it will come on this same day every week. You can use the money to do whatever you want. But make sure you spend everything before the next one comes and spend most of it on your daughters, Chinasa instructed. With the mystery money bag, Ebube's life and the lives of her daughters changed immediately. That same week, they moved out of their miserable one-room apartment and rented a more comfortable 2-bedroom flat. It wasn't just that, Ebube started a big business and she never hawked bread and beans again. She also enrolled her daughters in the most expensive private primary school in the city. Just like Chinasa had said, every week on the same day, a small bag of money would appear under Ebube's bed, and whenever the money came, she had to spend everything before the next bag of money arrived. In the years that followed, Ebube and her daughters lived a luxurious lifestyle. In fact, Ebube's daughters, Grace and Gloria, did not lack anything. Everything they asked for was provided for them. They even got their own cars on their 16th birthday and started driving at age 18. It was only a matter of time before Grace and Gloria forgot how much they had suffered and got used to their luxury lifestyle. Whenever Ebube and her daughters were bored, they would either go shopping or travel to their country of choice for vacation. In fact, they had traveled so much that they got tired of traveling to different countries. After they completed their secondary school education, Ebube sent both her daughters to school abroad, and while they were abroad, she built houses for them in Nigeria. Because Grace was older than Gloria, she was the first person to travel abroad and return home after she completed her master's degree. About a year after Grace returned home, she met a man named Yemi, and they fell deeply in love with each other. After 2 years of dating, Yemi proposed to Grace, and she said yes. In less than 2 months of saying yes to Yemi, Grace and Yemi began to plan their wedding. But the wedding plans and preparations did not take too long because Ebube decided to take care of the wedding bills and all. Since Ebube wanted to use Grace's marriage to show off, she hosted the wedding in Dubai and invited all of her occult members to celebrate with her. As if all that was not enough, Ebube gifted Grace and Yemi a big mansion to start their family. After their marriage, Grace believed that she would spend the rest of her life with Yemi. Sadly, she had no idea that her life was about to change in the worst possible way she could ever imagine. Watch out for part 3. Did you enjoy this story? Please like, share and subscribe to our channel. Also, do not forget to follow our channel on Facebook and Instagram. Thank you.